Welcome to the AgentIgnite. Thank you for being here. It is a big day indeed because this is the accumulation of so much effort that it's right now is going to take place, and I'm so happy to show you the fruit that we were able to generate. So, in today's video, I'm going to break down these three videos into three videos because first, it's more easier to consume. It's only going to take 5-10 minutes. And second, it's because the technicality, if I have to show you or if I have to run something with you, this video, I'm not gonna be running anything because I already did the homework. So you'll be able to just sit and watch the outcome of the AgentIgnite, what it did. But in the video too, we are going to be running an experience so that you can see for yourself how AgentIgnite is actually can perform. So before we move on into speaking about anything about AgentIgnite and about whatever we are about to solve now, we need to identify exactly what is the problem. And the problem is that most agents open their LinkedIn, they stare at the screen, they write something generic, life insurance, like life insurance is important for your family future, and then they post it. Eventually what they get few likes, and they conclude that LinkedIn doesn't work, or doesn't matter if it's LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other platform, and they think that the problem is the platform. The problem is not the platform. The problem is they have no system for their content to be able to get the results that they are after. Now, for content, this is a very important topic. For content, to make sure that content is able to generate the results that we are after, because I see a lot of people, they post content uh, that just spread all over the places. Content needs to have a structure behind it so that it can give the results that we are after. The first thing needs to for content to work, we need to first understand and identify and build an audience that we want to work with. Because if we are just having an audience full of family members, friends, and co-workers, then who gonna buy from us? These people are not the perfect buyer. They are not our ideal customer prospect. So therefore, it eventually what we're doing, we're just wasting time, because who's going to be watching those posts is our friends and family. So it makes no difference whatsoever. The second thing is that for content to have actually an impact and generate some momentum and some noise in the market, it needs to be diversified. Because if we just put on a daily basis the same kind of content, it's going to create fatigue. That's for sure. It's going to make people that, oh, I already seen that, I don't want to see it anymore. So the content needs to be diversified. One day you put something about your private life. One day you put something about value. One day you put something about lifestyle or what you did in your vacation. It doesn't really matter. Content, it's like Gary Vee says, it's like whatever you do on a daily basis, you share it with your audience, and that makes a difference. So if your content is not diversified and it's not consequential, it won't create that impact that we want. And thirdly, content at its core, at a certain point, once it runs its course, content needs to be fed with lead magnets, because the lead magnet, it's what actually makes a difference between a lead and just a simple member in our list. The definition of a lead is once a person raises their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say over there. What is it? Can I know more? At that point, at that specific point, now we are talking about a lead. Now we are talking about somebody who is interested on wanting to know more. So because we know that there is a pain, doesn't matter how big the pain is, but we know that there is a pain, and our job is to accompany and build on that pain so that we can get to a point where we can qualify them, graduate them, and get them to become clients. That's how the structure of content works and makes a difference in the life of our audience. So with that being said, what I'm going to do right now is I want to share with you a few examples of what I was able to create while I was doing my homework. So I will run this quickly with you so you don't get tired. So by the way, this is only video one, so I'm going to be doing video two so that it can go fast. This, for example, I did. This was my once I finished building Agent Ignite. This was my first thing I asked it. So I told him, I told him to repurpose to LinkedIn. What we do is we go here, we go to plugin, and we go here, and we ask it to repurpose to plugin to LinkedIn. This one over here, this material over here on this white on black background, these are all the components that are inside the Agent Ignites. There are like 28 components inside of it. It's not just doing the DMs and writing content and doing diagnosis. It's a lot more that's inside, and that I will be feeding. It's gonna evolve eventually to better things in the future. So let's stick with what we have to do right now. The first thing that I put, why most agent will never hit the 100K, and I told him to write for me a LinkedIn post, and this is what he got for me. So most life insurance agent will never hit 100K, not because they lack talent, not because they are lazy, not because their market is oversaturated. You see, the ones who are the suffering in silence are the most are often the ones working the hardest, dialing every morning, following up religiously, showing up to every event, and still same bracket every year. Here is the thing: the ceiling is not your effort, it's your model. Most agents are running an activity-based business, not a system-based one. They are betting that volume get them there. It won't, because there is a point where you simply cannot add more calls, more meetings, or more referrals to the week. You have physically run out of time, and yet the income has not moved. The agent who break through are not more talented. They are running completely different game. One where prospects are already warm before the first call. One where the platform does the qualifying, so the conversation is formality, not a pitch. Most agents don't have a sales problem, they have a marketing problem. And until that shifts, the ceiling stays. It's that landing. Is this landing somewhere for you? Drop a comment below. I read every one. So let me stop right here and say this. This is very important. You may notice that there are some catchphrases there that are maybe personal. That's because I teach Agent Ignite to write with my voice. It's calibrated with my voice. I gave him enough information about the way I write, my ideal customer, everything, all the nuances. For example, I even told them, listen, my dream customer are not just any life insurance agent. It's specifically an agent who's already making between 50 to 70K a year, and also an agent who already is active on social media and wants to use it to leverage this outlet as a new tool to generate leads. So I am being very specific. So every time Agent Ignite writes for me a piece of content, they know exactly the small nuances and they go hit it. Like it's just amazing. So I put so much effort into this tool because because information, if you think about it, information is really out there. There's plenty of information. But to take information, organize it in a certain manner, and feed it to the system and tell the system to generate for you the work. Now, what we used to pay for $3,000, $5,000 for coaching program, now you can have it handy on your fingertip just by doing few prompts. So it's really amazing. So before I close this video, let me share with you a few other examples so that you can get just a feel of how this works and what kind of content works. Is it 100%? No, it's 97 or 98 or 95%. You still need to put few touches on it, but the overall, it's perfect. It's really perfect. Now, let me give you just few examples, run by you a few examples so that you can see this for yourself. So, for example, why cold calling is killing your credibility with younger clients. All blueprints already in context from early. Okay, this is just, it gives me the core idea. It tells me the content mode and the belief shifts, what it is, and then it gives me the text. Cold calling a 32-year-old prospect is not just ineffective, it's actively telling them you are not the kind of advisor they want. Think about it. Millennials or Gen Z buyers does not wait for someone who to call them. They Google, they scroll, they check LinkedIn. By the time they are ready to speak to an advisor, they already have a short list. Here's the thing. If your name is not on that list before the first conversation, you are starting from deficit before you even say hello. You see, cold calling a younger client does not just fail to convert, it signals something far worse, that you operate in the old way, the spray and pray way, the way that says, I have no better method to reach you than an unsolicited call. That signal, consciously or not, is credibility killer. The agent breaking through with the younger clients are not calling more. They are building the kind of presence that put them on the short list before anyone picks up the phone. The dynamics have completely shifted. The question is, are you playing the new game or the old one? Drop a comment below. Genuinely curious what's been working for you with this demographic. So you see how I need to stop over here again, and you see how Agent Ignite is taking over my voice, using my styles, using certain catchphrases that I use, and touching the nerve when it comes to what my audience. My audience is you. You are the one who watching this. So you see how if you read this post, probably you will feel enticed to comment or ask a question or whatever it is, but you'll be enticed to do something. And that's what we want. We want to put content that elicit reaction. We don't want to just put content for the sake of putting content. Content that just speaks about save your life, do this, do that. I see that all the time. It's really not that big a deal. And third, let me just share with you this, and I close this so that I make it quick. Why posting one form of content without researching building audience is likely going to flop. So this is again the core idea, the belief shifting. And here is what it says. Most agents I speak to have the same complaint. I post almost every day, nothing is happening. So they try different format, a better hook, more consistency, and still nothing. Here's the thing. Content is not the problem. You can write the most compelling post in the room, but if the right people are not there and are in the room, it doesn't matter. You see, we have been taught to think about content as the starting point. It's not. The starting point is the audience. Who exactly are you trying to reach? What are they already scrolling for? What would make specific person stop and think, this was written for me? Most life insurance agents skip this work entirely. They pick a format, educational posts, motivation quotes, industry updates, and start publishing. No defined niche, no target readers, no reason for any specific person to follow them. Then they wonder why the numbers never move. Good content to the wrong audience is invisible. The agent getting real traction are not necessarily better writer. They just did the audience work first. What does your target audience on LinkedIn actually looks like? Drop a comment. So I'm going to stop right here. I hope that you get a point. I hope that this makes sense. So we've been only 14 minutes, so that's fine. But I hope that's really, I was able to communicate the core concept of what this tool is able to do to help, so that you stop wondering every day, what is it that you are going to post? You just wake up on a daily basis. You already have your weekly schedule set, and you know exactly on Monday, I'm going to put a value post. On Tuesday, I'm going to put a lifestyle post. On Thursday, I'm going to put a belief shifting post. On Thursday, I'm going to post a lead generation post, and on Friday I'm going to post a who have a question post. So, and everything is very flowing, and you just give it your Agent Ignite, and it makes sense. Have a great day. Talk soon. Please make sure to comment below or to send me a DM if you have any questions. Have a good day. Talk soon.